Oh, it's episode 19. I'm Jake, that's Paul. How you doing, Paul?
We've got a recap episode.
We do. We need to cover this. We need to talk about the Paul brothers. Let's discuss. We just got off. We just talked a little bit about it just to get going. But pretty much what we were saying was it's exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was a lot of gloating. Kind of called this one to a T.
Yeah. Ooh, sorry about
You
that.
know, we said, was there going to be a finish? No. Is it going to go the distance? Yes. And yeah, that's what happened. And
Yeah.
I guess it was a little bit more competitive than you thought, but between the 40-pound weight difference and Floyd aging rapidly, that's kind of what we thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Floyd. I mean, number one, Floyd Mayweather. How? What is he like? Do you think he needs to be taking like fucking supplements or some shit to keep that muscle mass that he's got, or is he just hitting the gym extra hard?
He's always been a gym rat. I mean,
Yeah.
Floyd's been a guy that there's like all these accounts of his bodyguards saying that he has to like run home from the club. So he owns like nightclubs,
Yeah.
and his security will take him home at like 2 in the morning. He'll be like, "No, I'll just run home."
It's
And he
crazy.
just yeah, he just runs like 10 miles home.
Just
So
quick,
he's
just a
always
quick
been like this.
jog, 10 miles. What the fuck?
He's always been a wild workaholic. But
That's good.
the thing that drives me nuts about the match is, we called it to a T, right? But that opening flurry from Logan, where he's like doing the 10 punch hook combos
Yep.
into
Yep.
the uppercut, it's like, oh no, that's the exact thing I didn't want to happen.
Yeah. We just got tired. Got
Well,
tired.
it's like you really think like the Street Fighter combo is the one that's going to put out Floyd,
No, it's not gonna
like
work.
that like Hadouken combo at the beginning of the you're really gonna bum rush Floyd and take him out. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. No, it's not gonna happen. Well, uh, I mean, I think I was a little. As much as we said it would go the distance, I wasn't sure if it actually was or if Floyd was going to be like, "Bitch, shit, get out of here," and just fucking. But at the end of the day, Floyd's in on it. He's getting paid too. So
Yeah, this is definitely one where I'm feeling good after the podcast because I knew there was no chance Floyd KOs him unless it was like late or something weird happened. But I was 95% sure that this would go the distance. No winner would be announced. But yeah, I mean the ref coming to Logan between rounds and saying like I'm gonna take a point for stalling.
right,
You're like,
right.
dude, what? Like,
What
what is
point?
going on
What
here?
point? When did I get a point in the first fucking
Yeah,
place?
yeah. What
No one's
judges?
keeping
By
track
the
of
way,
this.
can we talk for a second about athletic commissions?
What is it?
Athletic commissions.
Oh yeah, we should. Yeah.
So we just had an event between a 20-something and a 40-something where the only way you could win is by knockout.
Yep.
What exactly does an athletic commission do?
I don't know what they're there for anymore.
I'm not sure anymore either.
I don't think they really have any
It's like,
authority.
the athletic commission was there for weigh-ins. They were there for judging. They were there to make this thing a state-sanctioned bout, right?
Yep.
Like, if we're just going to admit that this is carnival ride, then yeah, let's do the carnival ride. But it was so funny to watch the athletic commission, all the hoity-toity guys up there. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Why was the commission even there? It's like for what?
Nobody knows.
For what? An unsanctioned exhibition bout that no one on your
Oh, totally sanctioned, by the way. Totally sanctioned. That's the craziest thing. Is it's like, what is the athletic commission doing? Just cashing a check?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, between the athletic commission, like, why do we even have the athletic commission? The ref warning Logan for stalling and holding, and then also this like madness on ESPN where they're like, Floyd was holding Logan up after a knockout. Is
Yeah,
like,
the 0.1 second video of slowed down so it makes it look like it's this long ass fucking dance, and it's like, no. It looked like Logan was just tired as a bitch, honestly. Just fucking was just exhausted. That dude was sweating his ass off.
yeah, I mean, he took a good punch, his leg turned into jelly for a second, but it's not like, he fell and Floyd just, waltzed him back onto his feet. Like, it's so
Waltzed him
silly.
back onto his feet. What the fuck?
Well, it's the only that kind of leads into the only critique I kind of understand about all this is if you want to take this from a bird's eye view I guess the only complaint that actually has legitimacy is this kind of power miscalculation from Floyd's camp,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Where we in the back of our heads we kind of thought like, oh, Floyd could probably knock this guy out, like whether it goes as long as Floyd wants it. It turns out that really wasn't the case.
no,
Like it's like me like wrestling my younger brother, right? Like it goes as long as you want it to, but it turns out he's in his 20s too.
yeah,
So he's gonna make this thing last rounds.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like it's not like your kid brother is 10 years old anymore.
No,
Like that's the thing is Logan can take a good punch. He came in good shape. That was the one thing that was really apparent to me by the
he
end of
looked
it
like
was
he was in
Logan was in
great shape.
killer shape.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, he looked good. He was in good shape.
Oh, and we don't have to talk about the back muscles or the abs. We're talking about cardio.
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah,
about
he
that
got
dude
went the
did
distance.
road work.
Well, after running away from all those angry fans who were yelling at him from the Japanese hanging situation, I'm sure he got some good cardio in.
Yeah, it's. I mean, man. I mean, I understand what they did. It was all fun and games, and like what to your point, what you were saying before the podcast is Logan has this gigantic fan base that I don't think a lot of people appreciate,
Yeah,
and it's millions of people, and now they're in their 20s and they're actually interested.
yep,
And
yep,
I don't think a lot of people appreciate that. These
no.
kids aren't. They're collecting Pokemon cards. They're not, fulfilling fantasy brackets, right? Like how
Right.
many when you were in high school and you were doing your March Madness bracket? What 10% of your class did it?
Yeah,
twenty
somewhere
percent.
around there, 10-20% probably. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. How many of those kids are subscribed to a Paul brother right now? Collecting Pokemon cards, doing all those goofy things, playing Roblox or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see boxing get totally taken over by these two brothers, and
Yeah.
we've got Woodley and Jake to look forward to, and they did a ton of media this weekend. Woodley did a bunch of these MMA source interviews. You have Jake doing a Bitcoin conference, which was
What's up with
hilarious.
Jake? What's up with him? He like called out some Mexican boxer on Twitter. He was like, "Yeah, you fucking can't sell pay-per-views, bitch." It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I mean, Jake's he's got the mold, man. It turns out if you can have these circus matches and sell hundreds of thousands of pay-per-views, then man, you've got it made.
Yeah, he's got money out his
But
ass. So
well, that's the thing. It's like we just watched Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, but boxing hardcore. That's the one dream that everyone has, and boxing came in and ruined it. And then you've got the UFC. We had Israel Adesanya, John Jones. We had John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. Came in and ruined it.
yeah,
Turns out these celebrity matches between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather are way easier to make when nobody's on their contract.
for real, for real. Well, that goes back to the commission part.
It's like, yeah, dude, fight fans have their fix.
Yeah.
We're all scratching. We're all, hey man, you got some of that Logan
Hey,
Paul
you got
boxing
you
over
got some
here?
of that fight? You got some of that fight going on? I'm looking for some fight. Anyone got any? Yeah, no, for real. First of all, how much did Mayweather make off that fight?
From his shorts alone. So just the sponsors on his shorts, $30 million.
Jesus Christ.
So that's before anybody bought the pay-per-view. That's before the bell even rang. That's with all the sponsorships, 30 mil.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but I mean, it's Floyd at the end of his career. Like, good on him for doing it.
Oh, 100%. I would sell out my shorts. Are you kidding me? I would totally do
Right.
it. It's what the UFC was doing before it got taken over by Dana, and then Dana like took all the money.
Yeah, but it's like I kind of understand it to a small degree. So it's like we have Ben Rothwell in Kenosha, right?
Yep.
Like this guy who I followed him for a while because I grew up in the area. I haven't seen that guy in years. Oh my gosh, however many years since I've even thought about Rothwell. But that guy, he was having sponsors from local barbecues
Good for
on his
him.
shorts.
Good for him.
Good for him, right? But it's like if you're Dana White and you want to have an organization that compares to the NBA and the NHL, maybe just maybe you don't have like a $10,000 barbecue sponsor.
Right. No, you're talking Mastercard, Visa, some big money is what you're looking for.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, and it's been, oh my gosh, almost a decade, and we're now in the Venom era. We're no longer in the Reebok era.
Yep.
So we've gone through this cycle. But yeah, I mean, I kind of understand what the UFC does. So it's like, you've got Paulo Costa, right? I'm actually glad you brought this up. This guy pulls out of a fight that he's had for weeks with Jared Cannonier.
Right.
And he goes, "Oh, I'm not paid enough money. I see these Paul brothers getting paid millions. And where's my money?"
That's not how it works.
That's no. The UFC has a performance institute. They have to pay for the stadiums. They have a year. They have a huge schedule they have to fill, and that has some overhead. It turns out.
It turns
Right?
out, yeah, of course it does.
Like, I'm not like an apologist or anything, but I do know, like, yeah, I've worked for a bunch of businesses. I've had a ton of jobs at a bunch of different places. And man, business overhead is legit. It's so real.
Yeah.
You can't just pretend that business expenses don't exist. Oh, you just write that off. Like,
No, no, absolutely not. No, business expenses are the fucking, yeah, I know.
it's just so crazy. I mean, you've got Costa coming out, and he was like, "Well, why don't they pay me main event money?" It's like, dude, you just went out there and laid an egg on pay-per-view against Adesanya.
Yeah.
Like, you landed 2 kicks and maybe a punch and then got styled on, and now you're holding out for millions. It's like his idea of Ultimate Fight, like his idea of what the UFC should be is a bunch of bodybuilders punching each other with like rock hard chiseled abs.
Yeah, that's not how the UFC works.
Like, that's just not how it goes. And
Never
then,
has been that way.
well, we've got that delirious end, right? Like, we've got Costa just living in his own world. But then we've also got like Ariel Helwani on the very real end of it. He is leaving ESPN now.
Really?
Yeah, so it came out that USA Today announced that they did a little investigation. He was offered 10% reduction in salary for 2 years, and then an additional 5%, so 15% on the third year. And that's because MMA has always been the redheaded stepchild of ESPN,
Right.
and now it's reflecting it.
Yep.
So yeah, now Helwani's going to get out. He's going to create his own. I'm sure he'll have his own website. He'll have his own podcast. Or maybe he even goes to like Spotify or something. He goes mainstream, goes like super legit. But yeah, it's just, from both ends, it turns out MMA and all this business overhead's so real.
Yeah, it's
Like,
expensive.
Well, that's one of the things with boxing, right? Everyone's like, why are there 4 boxing championships? WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, like all those. It turns out that promoting fighters is really expensive.
Yeah, it's ridiculously expensive. Like, dude, I mean, I can't even imagine how much it costs for them to constantly run those advertisements that they've got. Because it's not like those are just ran because someone thought it was cool. UFC's paying for that. Like when I was advertising for me, that was not cheap either. Some of those billboards weren't cheap. So, it's all overhead business. Yeah, it's just because a lot of people have never had to worry about it. They don't know.
No, I do think like fighters should be able to pick their sponsors. I think fighters, like when BJ Penn had his black belt shorts, and they were all white, and it had the black belt, and Anderson had his like bright yellow spider shorts. Like, I think fighters should have their own signature line or have a little bit more say
little style,
in what they wear. I agree in that. Fighters, if there's one thing fighters have, it's their individual likeness. Like, look at Sugar Sean O'Malley. Somehow that guy made it work.
For real. Yep.
But imagine if you really like let him come out and like, I don't know, some tie-dye shorts or something. Like, that thing you would be seeing that in your local gyms. Like, you would be at your local like Anytime Fitness. You'd be like, oh wow, that guy's an O'Malley fan.
I think it'd be great. Yeah. I mean, it's like fucking Birdman in the NBA. Just fuck up my hair quick and then also do pretty good. And then everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, who's that one guy, like Scalabrini, the White Mamba?
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck?
But,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we can take this Paul brother thing as long as it goes, but I feel like we're getting towards the end. I feel like there's probably 1 or 2 left in the tank, and that's it. Like, 2023, no more Paul boxing.
I agree with you. No, I think this is what the brothers do, man. They have short stints of money-making ideas, and then they move on to the next thing.
Well, so one of the things I was really thinking of, it's in my notes here, which is like pushing the goalposts. Like, how many times can you keep pushing that like end goal, and that is exactly what the Paul brothers do.
Yeah.
Like it used to be, oh well, if Logan doesn't beat Floyd, it's a loss because it's a 20 whatever year old versus a 44-year old, right?
Right.
Well, now it's, oh well, if he goes the distance, he doesn't really lose. Well, if he goes the distance, that's a moral victory. Floyd should
Right.
have knocked him out.
Right.
Well, actually, if you go round to round, Logan won 2 rounds. So Logan win? Like, that's what I mean. They literally keep pushing the goalpost further and further and further until eventually no one's actually seen the fight or remember the fight accurately. And you're like, yeah, Logan was pretty competitive.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. No, it's, you almost talk yourself into a who won it. Yeah. No, that's. I
Yeah,
mean, that's. Yeah. That's just how humans work, though.
it's such revisionist history.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
Yeah. No, I mean, number one, the Paul brothers. Logan's got a fucking big ass podcast that like shitloads of people listen to, so he's got a lot of money coming in from that front anyway. It's not like they need all this money; they're just getting it.
Yeah, man, they got a hell of a shtick.
I mean, hell, I wouldn't mind some of that cash.
Huh. All right. But let's flip over to the other side
All
of
right.
what I want to talk about, which is basketball.
Yeah.
Man, where do we start? No Golden State Warriors, no Lakers.
Yeah. No, they're gone. Well, what's the deal with LeBron right now? What's up?
Well, he's not. He's a part of the Lakers, and they're not in the playoffs.
Well, no. Okay, obviously, but he's just like he's just getting into trouble. He's in like he went to the strip club and got the fucking chicken or whatever. And I mean he's just been mouthy as fuck. I mean he's been kind of a mouthy person, but like Jesus Christ, this is it's just weird seeing all this come out right now. So yeah, the playoffs are gonna be gay. 100% they're gonna suck because everyone wants to see Golden State, and it's basically the Golden State Warriors and LeBron fighting it. Like that's what it is.
Right. Like we were having a moment earlier where I was explaining to you that when you go to the box score, you see this guy named Jay Harris
Yeah.
in the box score, and I, for the life of me, thought that was a typo. It should have been Jay Harden, right?
So
like
funny.
James Harden. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, 30 minutes, huh? Joe Harris. Oh wait, James Harden's out with an injury. And it's like, oh wow, there's really no headlines.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on. It's like, can the Nets win? Oh, it turns out they're just smashing by 40 points.
Yeah, making
Yeah,
us look like shit. Making our home team look like shit.
Busting the Bucks open.
The Bucks did not look good right there. I mean, they got styled upon. Absolutely fucking juked. It was ridiculous.
Well, it's just so scary because the Bucks game is defense, right?
Used
Like,
to
if you
be.
ask any fan, you're like, hey, what are the Milwaukee Bucks good at? And you're like, defense. You're like, who's your 2-time defensive MVP? Giannis. Who easily just lost by 40 points last night? Like, yeah, it's awesome. Defense is a big part of the game, but
Yeah.
if you can't put the ball in the bucket, you might be screwed.
Yeah. Giannis is fucking amazing. There's no doubt about that.
It's the other members of the team aren't there. They can't score.
I know.
But yeah, that should be. It's just gonna be crazy to watch the Nets go into the third round of the playoffs. Meanwhile, you've got like the 76ers just going for blood.
Right?
And these just punching it out in these 6-game series.
Yeah, dude. Well, you know, speaking of 6-game series, we're on, like, speaking of, like, hockey, the Bruins and Islanders, New York Islanders and the Boston Bruins are going to game 6, most likely. I mean, game 5 is, what is it game 5? No, it's 3-2 series, and game 6 is coming up next. And, yeah, if it doesn't go to game 7, the Bruins lose, and I'm wrong, and that makes me sad.
It's just so crazy to see like slobber knockers early in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Are you that loves it?
Yeah.
Right? Like when the Clippers and the Mavs go 7 in the first round, you're like, what is going on here? Like, are you ready to watch Luka just die on the court in the second round?
I'm not going to be watching it.
It's
just not going to be entertaining, dude. It's just not. I mean, I'm going to have to watch some of it so I can have some shit to talk about. But like, this is that NBA right now without the super players that was going on back in like the early 2000s, and nobody gave a fuck about the NBA when it was just kind of there. That's what's going on right now. There's no key players playing. All the teams that everyone wanted to see are done. It's just kind of a thing that's on in the background now.
Well, that's one of the things that I kind of like hate about major league sports. Like, if you look at like baseball or basketball or like newer-ish teams, like teams that emerge as franchises,
Yeah.
it's kind of what I hate to see. Like, you see it the cornerstone of the Clippers and the Nets right now. You go to New York, there are Knicks jerseys. You go to LA, Lakers jerseys.
Yep.
You take your son to the Clippers games and you take your son to the Nets games because ticket for half off.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, it's
that's
cheap
the
tickets.
finals we got right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no shame, no shame in new franchises, but they're new franchises.
Yeah.
It's very young. They don't really have the player base, and not only do they not have the player base, but they don't really have the culture behind them.
Right.
Like literally what I was just saying with the Knicks and the Lakers. Like,
Yeah.
you can't even compare the Clippers and the Nets.
You got to go to this
No
side.
history.
I can't hear you.
There's no
There
history.
you go.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, the Utah Jazz right now has the best record in the league.
Yep.
No offense to the Jazz, but
But what the fuck?
and the Jazz have a long history. You've got Karl Malone, John Stockton, like those guys, superstars. They just happen to play at the same time that other superstars were better.
I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's like the Jazz. They're basically like when like this year in the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche are number one, and everyone's like, okay, cool. Like like if the Blackhawks were number one, people would be like, oh shit. Or like if any like the Rangers are like an original 16, but it's the fucking Avalanche and no one really seems to care. They're kicking ass too. They're playing Vegas and they're doing great. Who knows who's gonna win this series? But damn, it's like okay, cool.
If you're a dad in New York or a dad in LA, do you dare? Like, you've got to weigh that. Are you going to raise your son a Nets fan because the tickets are cheaper?
Yeah.
Like, is that something you do, or do you just raise him a Knicks fan? You say, son, we're never going to a game. This is the burden.
I mean, Knicks tickets are really expensive.
What was that?
Knicks tickets are really expensive. Anywhere from Madison Square Garden is just an expensive ticket.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, would you dare put your son in a Clippers jersey?
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, I won't give a shit. I mean, personally, I don't care. We were Bucks fans.
Yeah, personally, of course.
Jesus.
No, I'm talking about, like, bougie basketball.
I know. No, they would be a Knicks fan, and they would be a fucking well, remember when Golden State when they had like Oakland written on their jerseys for a while?
Oh yeah.
It's like we all know you're more San Francisco than Oakland. Don't pretend. Look at the background of your jersey. It says the city, and it's like what city? Oakland or San Francisco? Oh yeah, that's right. You tell me which one.
Yeah, it's just man. I watched that game. What was that, Sunday night, where it was 125 to 86, and just a total blowout. Nets versus the Bucks.
Yeah.
Or no. That was that actually happened.
That was last night.
Either way.
That was 2 nights ago or last night. I don't remember which one.
The league's going to have a real problem promoting those games.
They already do have a real problem promoting those games.
Yeah, I'm sure the ratings. I'm sure like the advertisers, they're going to come out and they're like, we want our money back.
That's what happened with the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
Seriously. This is not what we paid for. You have like 3 people who attended this fucking game.
Yeah, it turned out to be an amazing Super Bowl, by the way.
It was a good one. Yeah, I think
Tom Brady it has nothing to do with me like losing my ass on betting on Super Bowl. It's not why. It's ingrained in my memory.
What's up with Tom Brady? You think he's back for like 2 more years, 3 more years? How many more years?
2.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Okay.
I think he's got this season and 2 more after this.
I like that you had the price is right. You just raised me 1.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess either way, if it lands on 4, we're both wrong.
Yeah,
or
seriously.
if he just like before the season starts, he's like, "I was kidding, see ya," and then him and Gronk just go fuck off somewhere.
I would love to see that 3rd season. It's just him cashing out on advertisers, where he's like talking about his molecule sleep mattress in between like games. They're like, "So Tom, what do you? How do you take this game at halftime?" He's just like blatantly doing halftime advertisements.
That's what Peyton Manning did. The first thing he says when he wins the Super Bowl, like, Oh, Peyton, what are you going to do with your Super Bowl? Well, I'm going to go have a nice cold Miller Lite. That's what I'm going to do. It's like, Peyton, you just won the Super Bowl. You can have a minute for yourself here, you fucking idiot.
Well, don't they pay like each of those guys that say like I'm going to Disney World? Don't they pay them like $50,000 each?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's that moment. What are you gonna do? You just won the Super Bowl. I'm going to Disney World.
Who would pay them that?
Disney.
Really?
Yeah, the owners of ESPN.
Damn.
You know Disney owns ESPN, right?
Yeah, but I didn't know that Disney would just pay up because you said something.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse loves sports.
I guess so. Mickey Mouse likes South Park.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the South Park with Mickey Mouse in it? He's like snorting coke and shit and beating the fuck out of the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But man, it's I mean, I'm glad that we got this Floyd thing out of the way. I have a feeling that for as long as our podcast lasts, we will never have to talk about Floyd Mayweather in a professional or exhibition contest again.
I don't know about that. We might.
I would no. I think one of the things that became very blatantly clear, at least to me, in the post-fight presser, was he was asked like, "Oh, what about McGregor rematch? What about this and that?" And he was like, "As a professional, no, I'm done. As an exhibitionist, I'm probably done."
Really?
Yeah, he said he's probably done in terms of exhibition.
Well, I think he'll do one more. I think he'll do one or two more exhibitions.
I don't know, man. I think he didn't feel good.
No?
No, just from, like, even the initial interview where they ask him, like, what do you think of your competitor? He's like, he's a big kid, he's a strong kid, he's a much better boxer than I thought. Like, I don't think, when was the last time Floyd said that guy's a better boxer than I thought?
A long time, man.
Like, ever. Floyd, it's not like Floyd's characters, like, disrespect or dispraised or, like, any of that. But that probably ate Floyd a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That probably took Floyd a piece of him away to admit that Logan had a number on him at, like, 40, whatever years old.
Yeah, well, I mean, Logan's, 27, 28?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big, strong kid, and he turns out he took the game real seriously. Respect to him for taking it seriously. But, yeah, I mean, personally, like, if I woke up as Logan Paul, right, and I wanted to take the fight super seriously, I thought in my heart of hearts that I was going to win, and that I didn't think, like, Raw would be an emotional victory or anything, I'd be a little upset that this 40-year-old jumped off the couch with no training.
Right.
And dunked me. I'd be a little upset.
Yeah.
Right. But in terms of what it was, everybody knew what it was. This is a win on both sides.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They both won this one, man. You can hate them all you want, but they're laughing their way to the bank. They don't give a shit.
Right? I mean, you go into all the slow-mos, you go into all the screenshots. Floyd's landing the punches. I think Logan hit him once with an overhand, but it was like real sloppy.
Yeah, it was just kind of... He got him in the face pretty good.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. It's, I guess we do it one more time with Woodley versus Jake, and probably Jake versus Logan.
Yeah. And then that's it, probably. Literally.
Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you right now, we have, like, the only deciding factor for Woodley is going to be how much extended media, how much, like, Joe Rogan always calls them the vampires, right? Like he said, Ronda Rousey lost her career to vampires.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do Fast and Furious. Oh, do Sports Illustrated. And if Woodley starts doing all that, like if he starts appearing in like music videos and he starts doing like rap singles, that everything on Jake. If Woodley goes to Siberia and closes his Twitter and Instagram, put everything on Woodley.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It's just, Woodley's 100 times the athlete that Jake is, but I'm not sure Woodley's ready for the media.
Yeah, whether or not he's actually up for the fight is a different fucking story.
Well, he's also one of those guys that is kind of pulled on everything. Like, he was in that, the NWA movie.
Yeah.
Like, Straight Outta Compton. Like, he literally had one line in the movie. He was like, yo, Q, we rolling?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Like, if he's appearing in movies at the same time that he's training for Jake Paul, like,
then it's not.
All right, guys.
He's not really training then. He's not taking it seriously.
Yeah, but if you see Woodley at like plus 300, ooh, that might be the one.
Yeah.
Because that's a fight where that's inside the distance. I don't care which way you look at it, that's inside the distance. Neither guy is built for 8 rounds.
Yeah.
So those guys are going to go in there, sprint against each other, and see who makes it out on top.
Yeah, basically just World War I style, just wear each other down. Who's gonna break first?
Yeah, so I guess my initial take, put it on the podcast live right now, Jake within the distance.
Probably. That's what I would go with too.
That's what I think. But if Woodley super disciplined, I find out that he's at the Mayweather training camp. He's like taking it real seriously. He's posting videos of him running on the sidewalk. Like, okay, maybe we give Tyron a little bit more respect.
Yeah, but we don't see that, so.
We don't. He's 38 years old and was in a music video with some very suggestive themes. I'll leave it at that.
Well, it's not even about that. It's just he's wasting his time. He's off doing shit on the side. He's not fucking training.
Right, like that's the thing is we all want to talk like, oh, what do fighters do afterwards, right? We did this 2 weeks ago on Paul Felder.
Yeah.
Right, like that guy got out and did everything right. But where's Tyron Woodley? He used to be behind the desk. He used to be on UFC Tonight. He used to do all this stuff. Why isn't he there right now?
Because
he's just having too much fun with the rap scene, I guess. Just hanging out with Snoop Dogg and doing straight out of Compton movies.
He likes being he's enjoying the fame. He's not enjoying the fighting.
Yeah, that's the thing. And, the one thing that I'm glad to see, if we want to end on a high note here, we'd see Mama Woodley one more time.
Yeah, I guess.
Mama Woodley is a gem. Every time you put a camera on her, it's tears to my eyes.
Yeah, she's sweet.
Oh my God, yes, she is. Just, man, the one with Usman, where she goes and hugs Kamaru, and Kamaru's crying. It's like, I'm sorry I did that to your son.
Yeah.
And Mama Woodley's like, don't worry about me. He's fine. He's a grown man. Worry about you. They're coming for you. Like, whoo, yeah, character, man.
Yeah, what a lady. She's beloved. She really is. But the day that she passes will be a tough day for the UFC. It'll be like when Mitzi died. It'll be like the whole comedy scene was like, what the fuck has happened here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about that, but it's I don't know. I mean, Mitzi and the Comedy Store that we were saying.
Yeah. When she died, it was like everyone's comedic mother was like, uh-oh, she passed away. Like, now what? We're lost. Who passes us? How do we know if we're funny?
Yeah, seriously. Man, it's interesting to watch Woodley, though, because he's kind of had this Cold War with Dana White, where Dana loved him, but then also hated him at the same time.
Yeah, well,
Well, he was answering the phone whenever they needed a pay-per-view. You want to defend against Wonder Boy, you want to defend against Maya, you want to defend against Darren Till, when obviously the entire market, I remember the craziest thing, when he fought Darren Till, they did no interviews or specials on Tyron Woodley.
Yeah.
They did a 1-hour special on Darren Till.
Yeah.
And it's like the most disrespectful thing ever. But yeah, and then watching Dana come out and say like, oh, well, Tyron's not the guy he used to be, best of luck, I hope he's working hard. And just, all right, or is this another, like, epitome of the UFC and boxing right now?
Hope not.
Because that's what it's going to come to. Like, when Jake was on that Bitcoin conference, like, he totally sidetracked the whole thing to talk, trash about fighter pay. Like, they're out there comparing, like, Ethereum, and they're talking about, like, El Salvador taking in Bitcoin as a currency, and Jake Paul's like, Dana White needs to pay his fighters more. Like, wait, what?
I get it. I do the same shit half the time through this show. I'll just cut you off and start ranting about how much the fighters don't make.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting watching it go forward, especially with Woodley at the helm.
Yeah, we'll see.
But for the longest time, he's going to be our guy.
Anyway. All right, man. Anything else you want to add at the end here?
No. I mean, I can put a little teaser for our next podcast.
You can. Might as well.
I can, yeah. Yeah, I might as well put a little teaser.
Episode 20
so we're staying away from Izzy and Vettori. We're putting a little bit of cash on Moreno.
Yep.
But we're going to put all of the cash right now on Frivola. We're going to put it on Jason Jackson, on Pico, and we're also going to put it on Clarissa Shields.
That is what we are going to do. Reminder, we are not financial advertisers, nor should you listen to us for financial needs. We are just telling you what our picks are, and that's it.
That's it. Tune into the next show to
don't tweet at me.
Listen to me tell you why Jason Jackson, Clarissa Shields, Frivola, and even Lauren Murphy. I like her as a dog, a big dog.
No, it'll be a fun one. We got a lot of shit to talk about the last one. Next one, I should say.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Everyone, it's been fun. It's been real. Can't say it's been real fun, but I'm kidding. We will see you guys for the next one in episode 20. Thanks for listening. Peace.